and killing trees.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Mayor.
Good morning. I want to start out by telling everybody here, I'm really proud of the county government on how you handled this disaster. So with our health department and our sheriff's department and waste management department, everything that you guys done has been right on the money, and really appreciate how efficient you've been and how you've been on it. So now that I've buttered you up with a bunch of good words, I'm gonna get started, but I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's been awesome what you guys have done.
Well, and thank you, Mayor, but also I want to make sure we recognize the cities and towns have all kicked in and done a really, really fantastic job of us working together. And I've said this from day one, when Johnson County has a disaster, an issue, we pull together like nowhere else. It's just amazing how the people in this county pull together.
We do, and you know, the towns and the cities, and we're all talking back and forth. What do you need? How can we help? And it's been a eye opener and been really touching to me. So just wanted to know that.
Love Johnson County.
So let's go on. If you look at the map, and I'm sorry we don't have a map for everybody to see, but I want to start off down by where you see on the map where it says Earlywood and Graham, the roundabout there, and then you see a red line that's a little bit below that. That is a Graham Road extension. And what we have there, this is all city funded. Well, it's not all city funded, but we're going to extend Graham Road. And this is all a part of, if you get off the interstate, you take our truck route, you go all the way through Graham Road, and you get to, you know, you got all roundabouts now. It's real helpful for the truckers and the citizens of the city. Well, Graham Road is going to go straight. Those S turns will stay there just because of the local traffic that the people will take. So on the Graham Road extension, we've done a pretty good partnership with a company by the name of Cold Summit, who's going to put $500,000 in. We got a ready grant for $653,000. And the city of Franklin is going to pay right at $900,000. So that will be done this year, hopefully. That's what our plan is. And if you see, we head west and go up to where you see the first roundabout at Earlywood and Graham. In 24, we want to put that roundabout there. That's all going to be city funded outside of I think it's a $240,000 ready grant. And then we go on up north through Graham Road in 2025. The city of Franklin plans on trying to make that look like Commerce with the wide shoulders and widen the road out a little bit. That project's going to be about a $5 million project. And the ditch, we have to move the ditch there, and that's about a $2.5 million. To move the ditch is simple, getting all the permits through DNR, and it's ridiculous what that costs. So anyway, that gets us up to what I'm here to talk to you about today is the roundabout at Earlywood and Paul Hand and the Paul Hand Road improvements. And as you know, that is the border of where the city limits is, Whiteland connects, and all of that right now is in the county. It's not in the town of Whiteland. And I know it's also where the county has its TIF area. So what we're asking to do, well, let me back up just a little bit. Paul Hand improvements, DHL, it's all public record. They're looking to buy the Kelsey property and develop that. They're going to put in $2 million for the Paul Hand Road improvements. And that's really about a $2.5 million project. They're putting in $2 million for that. And if you see the blue line, that's Essex Drive. They're going to extend Essex Drive. They're paying for all of that, taking care of it. That's about a $3 million project. And then we get to the roundabout. The roundabout is about $2.5 million, and it's really only one corner of that is in the city of Franklin. The other three corners has to do with Whiteland and the county. So what I'm proposing to do, that we can get the county, the city, and the Franklin to kind of split that roundabout at $750,000 each. I have talked to the city of Whiteland. They talked about it publicly at their RDC meeting to take a deeper look at it and move forward. But I think we all know that that may not happen with Whiteland now with what they just went through, and that's understandable. I do know they're going to get their feet back on the ground where they're at here and then talk about it a little bit further in depth on what they can do, but I'm not expecting them to be able to do what they had talked about at the RDC meeting. So my request is that the county, since we're all joining forces here, and this is going to make for economic development on the county side, the Whiteland side, whatever you guys come out with that's between you and Whiteland, that we split this 3 ways, which would be right at $750,000 each. And we have talked to the RDC, the Franklin RDC. They have given me permission to get our attorney to maybe talk to your attorney if you guys are in agreement on how do we do this, how do we get it in an escrow fund. We want to try to bid this project in December. And I know with DHL and with Cold Summit, we've got the same agreements set up with them. It's like 30 days before we go to letting. So we're talking sometime in November, maybe, to put in escrow. But that's my thoughts, and that's what the ask is. And I'm take any questions you may have for myself. Krista standing behind me, Krista Linke. She's the Community Development Director. If you have any questions for her, we're here to answer questions.
Steve, I've been in a couple of meetings where we've discussed this and, said it need to be brought forward to the other two. I mean, it only makes sense for us to participate in this. So I would be willing to do this, working out the funding mechanism. We'll have to work that out, but I would be in total support of helping on this and splitting it 3 ways, or we'll just say that for now, because I don't know what Whiteland will be able to do at that time. And we'll address that when we come to it.
Okay, so I'm hearing that it's okay for your attorney, Adam, here to start maybe talking to Dustin Huddleston on.
You gotta get one of these other 2 guys here next to me to say something.
Oh, okay. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with getting the attorneys together and looking into how we could mutually do this. I guess what we need to discuss is where we come up with the 750,000, what fund that would come out of, or how we would fund that. So we need to determine that, I think, going forward. Just a real quick question here. The Paul Hand Boulevard, you've got extending to the east. Is there something planned over there that you have that?
That's a good question, Ron. I didn't mention that, but I wanted to. So thank you for bringing that up. The part going to the east, that is where Whiteland would like for that truck route to go to the east to Bob Glidden Boulevard, which would take that on up to Whiteland Road to the interstate. That way it takes a lot of the truck traffic out of the Whiteland roundabout and cuts that in half probably. So that is the future for Whiteland's plan to go further east, is what that line's on there for.
And Bob Glidden Boulevard, you said?
Yes.
Is that something going to be put in new, or?
Bob Glidden Boulevard's already there.
It's already there?
Yes, and at the end of it, right by Paul Hand, they don't have a roundabout, but they got kind of a moon, half a moon there where a truck gets back there, they can turn around and go the other way.
I haven't been down there, so I wasn't familiar with that. And that goes up to Whiteland Road, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that part's there. They're just trying to get the rest of this plan. So I would say in the next couple years that would probably be something they'd be working on. Yeah, and they did, Whiteland, Krista just reminded me, they did get approved by NDOT to do some other improvements there by the interchange. And I think some of that's a roundabout on what I understand, but you'd have to get that out of Whiteland, is a roundabout at Bob Glidden Boulevard and Whiteland Road to kind of help with that. And I tell you, I think it's amazing that we're all working. I know a lot of people say I don't like roundabouts, but we need to check the safety record of the roundabouts. And I think you'd figure out the way the traffic flows, and especially on our truck route. We used to struggle with the trucks rolling through town all the time and the stop and starting. Once we got the truck route completed, they have figured out that we don't want to go through town anyway. We can just keep rolling right over to 31. So So it has made a big difference in the traffic flow for the city of Franklin and the county. So,
I assume that roundabout's 2-lane.
yes, they will be the size that we have in Franklin. We intentionally made them a little bit bigger than a normal roundabout, so we can make sure we get the
For
trucks
the
through.
trucks, yeah.
I would, as you know, Mayor, because we've spoken, that I would think that we would hopefully be able to move together. We talk about how we want to work together and be regional and think regionally, and I think this is part of that process. And I think so far we're doing a pretty good job of it, and I think we need to continue to do that. But in that, I did have some discussion, and I'm not going to bring up a lot of what the discussion was, but I did have some discussion on funding after you and I had talked and tried to figure out a way we could come up with something. And I think we can probably get there in the discussions that I've had. So we'll work toward that and wait for you guys to get together, the attorneys to get together and see what we can come up with. But I think this is something that we need to do, not only, especially with the problems that Whiteland has right now. This will be an ad for them down the road that would really be a benefit to that the town of Whiteland. So I think we ought to look at this really, really hard. So,
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I'll go sit down and mind my own business.
I just wanted to say, Mayor, that I had to come down to my office Saturday morning and the pickleball courts were full.
Isn't that amazing?
It
We're
was.
getting ready to
All
do-
8 courts going.
We're getting ready to do 8 more over at by the Boys and Girls Club, that park over there where the tennis courts is all tore up. We're making those pickleball courts this summer. I'd said we was going to do it last summer and it didn't work out, but it's going to happen this summer. So,
Yeah, great.
all right,
Thank you.
you've
I'm
fallen
over-
into the trap, haven't you?
I have. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
Opening of sealed bids for the Johnson County Courthouse exterior site work project.
Okay, we had 2 bids. The first one is with Duke Commercial. Their bid is for $315,000 even, 315,000.00. The second bid is from Smock Fansler Corporation, SMOCK FANSLER Corporation. Their bid is for $402,000, 402,000.00. Those are the only 2.
I'd move to get them to Mr. Harrison and Mr. Baird. You've been involved in this project review and maybe come back to the next meeting with a recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion, a second, any further? Being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And thank you to our bidders. Appreciate that. This project long overdue. Yes, we finally, maybe we can get this one started. Get it done. Opening of sealed bids for Johnson County Parks Campground Expansion Project.
We just had 1 bid for the Johnson County Parks Campground expansion. It is from CW Sneed Company. That bid is for $177,783.00, 177,783.00. This is for the other parks. It's also from, you just want to take both these at the same time? I
Might
guess?
as, well, one's for the Hoosier Horse Park, and I guess probably ought to do that separate.
Yeah, me,
It's a really separate project, so if someone wants to move to let Wes and I look at those.
Yeah, I
that
would,
one too.
if Wes is looking at these, I just have Wes take a look at them with Commissioner Barrett, because I know he's been working down at the park and come back in the next meeting. The recommendation or just make sure the
We got
single
everything
bid is
covered.
inclusive. Yeah, I guess since we've just got one single bid, make sure it's inclusive. So,
Just curious why we only got one bid on something like that.
Honestly, it's really hard to bid, and I assume a lot of people probably kind of get away from it, but the bright spot in this is Snead did the previous
Yeah,
campground add-on, so he knows what he's doing, and that probably scares some people off too. 'Cause
I would like Adam to go ahead and read what the cost is for the second one, so it's on public record.
yeah, sure. The second one for the horse park campground expansion is also from CW Sneed in the amount of $120,123 and no cents, 120,123.00.
we will have to make sure that this stays within our budget that we have in the GOB too, so that's something Wes and I have to talk about.
second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Franklin Parks and Rec approval to use county property for cruise in the AMP event June 10th, Franklin Parks and Recreation. Holly.
Good morning, Holly Johnston, Franklin Parks and Recreation. So we have our annual cruise-in event on Saturday, June 10th. So we would just like to ask that you move the county vehicles to the north side of the parking lot for that day, please.
Okay, and the question I have, is the lot going to be used for actually the cars that are in the cruise in and not
Yes.
just for parking?
Yes, it's
Okay.
for the cruise-in.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't.
There would
Ask,
actually be cars
yeah.
there. Okay,
Yeah,
I always like to check because we get kind of stung on those things.
yeah. No,
Yeah, that
that
makes
south
sense.
lot, we'll park there and we'll park going up Monroe Street and then we'll be on Jackson Street from Jefferson to Wayne.
Okay.
And then a little bit on Monroe, like till we get to Ann's, that section there.
I know that's very well attended most times. so.
Yeah, hopefully we have better weather than last year because the threat of rain
Yeah,
and classic cars just don't really mix.
Mine don't come out.
See? Yeah, but we still had a good crowd last year, even though we didn't.
I would move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Holly.
I did get the hold harmless, but there's a couple of changes because it's just parks, not Discover Downtown Franklin. So can I get you with you on that later?
Yeah, Annette actually has the corrected form, so,
Okay.
but yeah, afterwards I'll make sure.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Discover Downtown Franklin approval to use county properties for 2023 events, and there's 4 events. We've got a little bit of discussion we have to do on these.
Good morning. Jess Giles with Discover Downtown Franklin. Yes, sorry, we kind of were playing phone tag last Thursday
Yeah,
in
it's been-
relation, I think specifically to strawberries on the square.
It's been busy. Yeah, as you just heard, we just
Approved
we'll
the-
be starting that project that,
Mm.
which we've been waiting for over a year to get started. So that would probably not be a possibility to have the courthouse lawn at that time.
Right, we understand and we're comfortable. We hosted due to inclement weather, we moved to the amphitheater last year, so our volunteers are familiar with that event. And we can inform the business owners. I think the primary reason that well, number one, it's an 18-year tradition, but also the business owners appreciate it being on the courthouse lawn just because it's in closer proximity to their businesses. But they'll understand due to the, scale of the project and how long. it's
My
been
fear would be is
planned.
if you schedule it there, even though it might be able to work out at that time is if it doesn't, then you're scheduled there already and then we have an issue. So
Right.
I'm just trying to make sure we don't have any future problem with that happening. And then the next year we should be fine.
Okay. Yeah,
far as
that's
getting that
okay
done.
with me.
I guess the other question would be, Wes, and you know more about how that'll set up. Would we be able to use the south parking lot?
Yes, that'll be available.
That would be available. So and we can work that out. We could work that out, I would assume, with the courts for parking if you wanted to use the back parking lot south of the courthouse.
Okay.
That would keep you out of the construction area if that would work out better for your location in the
Would-
amphitheater.
It'd still be troublesome for pedestrians, you think, to reach the south side? I guess they would just
No, they
need
could
to.
come down Court Street. or
Okay.
Any of the streets to get to there, but it's totally up to you, but I wanted to make that available if you needed it. That would be the parking lot, but we just have them not park there that day.
Okay,
We'd have to make those arrangements. So if you want to get back with me on that one. then
sure, I can do that.
That would work out.
Yes, that's totally fine. And then the request for the spring and fall vintage fest, which I know this was another discussion point. I believe last year, I think you had mentioned maybe they didn't utilize the spots
They
that,
use it for parking vehicles, and if they're going to use it for parking of vehicles, there's no need for us to take our time to move the vehicles out
Okay.
there because there's only, 4 or 5 vehicles in that
Right.
lot
okay,
to start
Um,
with. But if they're going to use it for parking, there's no reason to close that lot. It would, if they're going
Right.
to put vendors in there, I understand, and that's why I was asking Holly. but
Holly, right,
I just didn't understand why we close it and move those vehicles just so people could park in there when we're only taking up 4 or 5 spaces on the weekend.
I agree.
in there.
I believe they have approximately 25 more vendors for this first spring vintage fest. So if we could approve for this spring, but I actually was just speaking with the mayor, and we have the amphitheater space for a reason, and I'm comfortable encouraging the hosts of the event to kind of extend into the amphitheater versus into that lot, because then it leaves parking open as well for.
And I
Patrons.
think it's probably better to use it for parking than
Mm-hmm.
the vendor set up there because it's just not set up like everything City of Franklin's got set up, as
Right.
far as for vendors. But if they're going to use that for vendors, there's no issue. I just know
Okay,
last year we cleared that out and it basically was used for parking.
right, yeah, okay.
And that was kind of disappointing to,
I can
I thought it was
definitely,
going to be used for vendors, but and that's something you and I can discuss, yes, once you find out. And if they're going to use it for vendors, I have no issue at all with it. If we're going to use it for parking, those 4 vehicles, it's not going to make any difference if we move them to the south lot and leave them in the north lot at that point in time.
right, okay. I can
Because
connect with
everybody
her
parks
today.
there anyway, regardless on the weekends.
Yes,
So,
okay,
But we can discuss all that. It's okay with you guys, since I seem to be the one that gets into this.
okay,
Love the festivals and all we're doing on the holiday lighting. I don't see any problem with that on what I've checked out unless you guys see a problem.
I would move to approve and just let Commissioner Baird work out the fine details with you
okay,
on this. I think most of them are okay, but just kind of work it out.
We'll figure
You
it
want to
out.
make strawberries and fall vintage pending legal then?
Are we needing something on that for legal?
I think maybe just to
Yeah, we'll
rewrite the
need
whole
it
harmless, I guess. at this
Yeah,
point.
for
If we close it.
Yeah. That's part of the motion.
Second, go with that. Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
okay. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
When you find that out, won't you just get with me and we'll work it all out as far as the south lot, if you
Mhm.
guys would want to utilize that or not,
Okay,
y'all-
sounds good.
or how the Vintage Fest is using. We'll get all that figured out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
These are easy problems. Public Safety Communication Proclamation of 2023 Public Safety Telecommunicator Week, April 9th through April 15th, 2023.
Heath Brandt, 911 Director. So this is a proclamation for the,
We thought you were going to recite it.
I can if you'd like. We did that to somebody last
Yeah, we
time,
did
didn't
have
we?
somebody last time.
Surveyor. We did
Yeah,
that to the
surveyor had to read it.
So I figured if we're gonna do it to surveyor, we ought to keep it fair.
Happy to do it. I've got a copy right here.
If you want to read it, we can listen to it.
So whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent on the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Johnson County Public Safety Communication Center. And whereas professional public safety telecommunicators are a vital link between citizens and victims and are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators in Johnson County have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And now, therefore, it is proclaimed by the Johnson County Board of Commissioners of the County of Johnson, State of Indiana, the week of April 9th through April 15th, 2023, to be Johnson County Public Safety Telecommunications Week, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our county and citizens safe. In witness whereof, I have unto set my hand and cause the official seal of Johnson County, Indiana, to be affixed on this 10th day of April, 2023.
Very well done.
You did it. Yeah, very good job with that. Better than I would have done.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And I agree very much for that proclamation, by the way. Health, approval to apply for CDC overdose data.
Betsy Swearingen, Director, Health Department. We're here to ask for your approval to apply for a new grant. It's through the CDC. We've never actually applied for a federal grant. We believe, it depends on what tier that we would go after, depending upon, it's a 5-year grant. We don't exactly know. We're running the matrix right now to see exactly what we qualify, if we qualify for all 3 portions of the grant or not. What we think we're looking at would be possibly in upwards of $400,000 a year if we apply for the first couple of tiers. We're still learning how to apply for a federal grant, so it's a little bit tough, but we need your permission first. What we'd hope to use this for is recovery. So after treatment or after overdose, after survival, and then moving into the recovery phase, we would look to develop resources such as they're called recovery cafes. They're a lot like coffee shops, but they're one-stop shops for treatment and support and services to make sure that recovery stays ongoing for these individuals.
Betsy, I was a little bit confused when I read your letter here that says the goal of the grant is to use data to drive action steps and reduce fatal, non-fatal overdoses in the community.
Right, the
So-
data that we're collecting would then be put in, would kind of be the catalyst behind why we need this grant in
So
Johnson
you're
County.
using the current data or
Right.
whatever to apply for the
Exactly.
grant.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's worded a little odd. This grant's
Yeah.
very strange and foreign to us. We're a little bit scared of it, but we are willing to go out on the branch and see what we can do to get it. If just need your permission to apply.
I've got no problem with you getting grant dollars if you can get them. This obviously is an area that we've got a multitude of opinions on and as to how to maybe best proceed with the epidemic that's the country's facing, but I would move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further? This is pending legal, by the way. Correct?
Not only is it being legal.
I look clean.
Oh, it's the next one. Sorry.
It's okay.
Wow, I need to put my glasses back on. I have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betsy.
Thanks, Betsy. Parks pending legal. We have these fancy computers and we still use paper.
Kevin Leonard, Park Superintendent. Yeah, that's just our yearly agreement with Ramsey Pyrotechnics. They provide the fireworks show during Sparks in the Park. And
Move to approve pending legal.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I might call
Opposed?
you later today. Okay.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thanks, Kevin. D has been moved to the next agenda, both 1 and 2. Emergency management approval to increase credit card limit for purchase of safety barriers. Which,
There's stuff. She's upright.
Barely. Stephanie Seasting, Emergency Management Director. This is the safety barriers that we applied for last year in the grant. There is a number difference. Because originally the grant was for 200 safety barriers. But when I called them after the grant was fully executed, asking them what the shipping was going to be, I said, well, there's no way I can get 200 with the shipping cost. So I went to another department and they got it a lot cheaper. So now I can get 234 safety barriers with the shipping. To be under, to make my 27,000 that we got it approved by the grant.
I know we had all those used up, so a few extra won't hurt.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
But that's my next question. If you approve my credit card, I was going to order them today. They'll be shipped in one day and it comes by freight. Where are we going to deliver these to?
That was gonna be my question. I don't know what the size of them are, but 234 of them is gonna be a
They're the-
considerable amount of labor and space.
Yeah. And they have to have the feet put on them when they get here.
I know we talked some, maybe at the park,
Community correction.
In the fairgrounds, but I don't know where we're gonna, I
in
mean,
the fairgrounds.
they're gonna deliver them in one spot. I really don't want them to deliver them to my door.
How heavy are the barriers? Each
They're
barrier?
the still galvanized ones, so
They're
they're,
gonna be,
each one's gonna be, that's where they have to come. Freight. So it'd be coming in a big truck. And I thought I'd ask and tell them where to deliver it.
and then moving from there. Because I know the parks, you guys, the park needed some of those too, right? Sheriff's office, I think, wanted some,
I think we can distribute them out of there.
distribute them out of fairgrounds.
It's close. It's not.
Yeah, but if we're talking tomorrow or the next.
Well,
day.
a day after I order them, it'll be,
Okay.
Oh, you haven't ordered. Okay.
So if you can get with Matt down at the fairgrounds, see where we could put those. so we
Okay.
Can get them and then
Put them in the building.
like community corrections. So put them
Yeah, they
together.
come over and put them together.
yeah, because I got the
Correct.
flat feet ones. So there's no tripping hazard, but they have to be put on. So,
Which shouldn't be that big of a deal.
no, it won't.
For that many with.
I'll give them something to, I mean, yeah.
Give them something.
So
to-
just deliver them to the fairgrounds. I'll get a hold of Matt
If
Davis.
you want to kind of work that out.
I will.
Stephanie.
I'll call him today.
I would imagine that they're gonna be bundled. I don't think they would ship them individually, so they're probably gonna be bundled, and you're gonna need a fork truck or something to offload them.
I'm gonna ask them if they're gonna,
They have equipment. at the
if they have
fairgrounds.
equipment. Yeah, they
do.
should have. I'll ask Matt.
They got that Bobcat, that universal machine.
Yeah,
that has
I
Yeah,
think
the-
so I know you were talking about community corrections, maybe helping with that, but you're probably not gonna need that if they're bundled, and you're gonna do it with a fork truck.
Well, they might need
No, as far as
assembly.
putting them together.
Would it have to be?
Some
Feed
of
Yeah,
The
them-
be
feet will
done.
have to be put on them.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you could either
I'd leave
get,
them bundled and put the feet on them when, at the time comes when you need them.
Once we distribute
Otherwise, you're
them.
gonna have to stack them individually. That's gonna be a. Doesn't make any difference to me.
I think just, yeah, we'll get them here and see what we got. And
Yeah.
okay,
somebody can make that.
I can let you
call.
guys know when they deliver
Yeah, how
them,
it
because they'll
works.
let me
Or
know.
we can come out and look at them or
Yeah,
whatever. too,
okay.
If need be to figure out what to do. It's no big. But
Move to
fairgrounds
approve.
would be the best place.
I just need a one-time increase in my
Yeah.
credit card, because I have to order them
Yeah.
from my credit card.
You moved to approve.
Mhm.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further?
Talk to her about that when she's out. Talk to her about that while she's out.
About,
Never
okay.
mind. I'm so sorry.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Everybody's trying to get me off today.
I'm so sorry.
You guys
That
messing
threw me
with
off. I was like, we're gonna talk to him about that.
I also have something else to bring up to you guys. With this storm that went through, the tornado, we have to do a recovery plan, long-term recovery plan. So we need to make it a county one, so it encompass all the damage. So I will have to get input from you gentlemen when we get to that point. So,
Okay.
because it can't be just the town of Whiteland, since there's damage out in,
Right.
you know,
Oh, no,
courthouse,
there's damage all the
aircraft,
way through.
you know, yeah, so,
Yeah, I think we kind of figured it would go that way, so I don't think.
yeah,
that's-
which the town of Whiteland asked me to make it a whole county. I mean, they're gonna be with long-term housing for the, you know, some of the residents, but we just need to make it a county one, so I'm just trying to get around that beast right now. Because I've never had to do one, so
If you need some help, don't be afraid to ask.
I won't. Thanks.
Especially from.
Steph, I want to take a minute here to publicly thank you for what your efforts have been on this. I mean, it's
You're
kind of
welcome.
unprecedented to have to deal with this. I know you put in enormous amount of hours, heart and soul has gone into this. I just really want to say thank you.
Thank you. It helped a lot. The town of Whiteland, never having to deal with this issue. They were wonderful.
Yeah.
And we had that IMT team put together. We all worked well.
It's been cohesive from what I've seen. There hasn't been any,
No,
few little bumps, but we're gonna get those
Yeah,
bumps in
but-
some emergency.
I mean, the
like
town of
this.
Whiteland was very thankful for all the assistance they got from Sheriff's Department, the Highway Department,
All entities were involved
Franklin,
in that.
Greenwood, yeah.
Greenwood, Franklin, everybody.
It was easy to keep track. So,
Yeah, we're good. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Stephanie, I have a question. Am I supposed to up her credit card? How much
Yes.
did you want me up her? credit card?
27,000.
Yeah, it has to be a total of 27,000.
Okay, so I'll up it.
And then I'll let you know after I order them and I get my receipt, and
Perfect,
then
Yeah.
I'll let you know and you can take it back down.
perfect. Thank you.
So I
Thank
think,
you.
that normally we do that.
Yeah.
that way.
Awesome.
We'll get.
Oh, you can leave it if you'd like. I'm sure I can
Yeah,
find something.
we'll-
I'm sure you can dump a lot of it up there.
We'll get the rookie going the right direction. We'll handle
Thank you.
it. Thanks, Steph.
Oh, hey, Steph, before you leave, we got a question for you. That's what I was pointing to.
Yes.
You know, we've declared the emergency disaster.
Yes.
Do we need to leave that in place still, or do we need to rescind that?
No,
What are your thoughts?
they've already have it recorded up at the state.
Right.
EOC. You know,
Don't
you can
extend it?
rescind it if you'd like. Yeah,
Okay,
but it's already documented and they have it. So
I know we did that
For
Sunday morning.
future-
Yeah, we did that Sunday morning.
Yeah,
groups that are coming in, so
Monday morning.
Okay, all right, we just wanted to know whether to pull it off
no, I mean,
or leave it in place.
you just leave it in place.
Okay,
They'll expire it after 30 days
okay,
at the state.
okay,
Thank you.
just leave it in place.
So do we need to?
Well, ours expire after 7
Right.
days, so you can extend it to match
I
the,
think we.
The state
probably
if you
need to
want, or
extend
just-
it- Extend it
Just
to
so
match
there's
the
not any
state.
paperwork glitches with the state later.
'Cause
You
you
guys
can-
pull it off. You're not-
I was gonna say,
or the
you
other
did yours for 7.
23
but
days.
Yeah, the
we can-
initial
we
one
can
has to be
extend it
7
to leave it in
days.
place
That's-
more
yeah.
with the state.
Yeah,
I would extend it to stay in unity with the state.
Just at this
okay.
point.
Let me call up there and ask them, and then I'll call Adam.
Well, we could do it today.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it doesn't, I don't know what it would affect. It doesn't hurt to extend it. It
No,
doesn't
it
really
didn't.
do anything. So
yeah,
at this point in time, that part's over with. It just would keep it, I guess,
yeah,
with
just
the
the,
states.
just the recovery part,
Yeah.
you know, the debris and
Yeah,
everything,
because we're
so,
gonna have to roll into recovery. Nobody really knows what that is yet.
so.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do we need to do that publicly?
I think.
If you want to do it, I mean, you could vote on it, and discuss extending it out to
Total
the
30 days. from March
20
31st.
22 more days to coincide with what the governor's done.
Move to discuss extending it.
You do that.
You good with that? Move to the discuss extending it. Motion in a second. We good?
Move to approve.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. We'll talk about it. Hi Christie, how are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm good. I have a contract to get our doors looked at and hopefully 6 to 7 of them repaired. We've been working through this for the last 7 to 8 months. It's hard to find security door companies. I did get another estimate. One was $36,000. I about fell out of my chair when I read that. And then I just got another one this morning for $3,600, and that's just to repair to look at the 6 specific doors. So I think this one for $5,000 to look at all 70 doors and get an idea. It makes the most sense right now. They waived some of the requirements from the company because the jail has a contract with them. So they're familiar with Johnson County.
So we'd be really approving the 5,600 for this contract and then possibly another 3,600 for the repairs on the 6 doors.
No, that's a different company. So it'll just go through my budget. I'm gonna have to go in front of the council in May to talk about some big line item repairs. I've got a garbage disposal that's out, several things that I need to talk to the council about. So
Okay.
this mainly for you guys is just to approve this and to sign this contract, and then I'll deal with the council on monies. Unless you guys have some in your budget somewhere and you want to help me out.
Franklin just took 750,000 from us, so.
Well, okay.
Yeah, and Barbara and I looked, but we might have something in the GOB. It couldn't be used for the contract, but it could be used for the repairs,
Okay.
or money toward those repairs.
Yeah, so they're supposed to come in and look at all 70 doors and get them working. I have 6 that are sticking and not working quite right. I don't think they need to be replaced. It's possible the 5,600 might cover all of that. It's a little loose right now. I just had to spend $11,000 on toilets and sinks. So my budget has taken a really big hit. So yeah, maybe if I can talk to Barb about some
We'll look at the,
repairs and things.
maybe what you're looking at, what's needed, approximate cost, and maybe we can find some under the GOB to help with that.
Okay, I appreciate
We
it.
can usually, under maintenance and repairs, we can usually get a little bit there. Because
Okay,
we do that a pretty big line item,
okay, yeah,
so.
yeah, my budget's well over a half at where it shouldn't be at this point in time, so.
If you can kind
Appreciate
of
it.
just get that information together and get with me, we'll
Yep.
talk about it, or get with Barb and she'll get with me to see where we're at.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Christie, did you say who you were when you first came up?
I did, and I apologize. I'm Christy Bruther, Director of Detention.
Thank you.
I said, hi, Christie.
You did.
It must not work.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Highway. Travel and attend cartograph. That sounds like a blast. Is
Yeah.
it in Iowa? That
No,
would be the only thing to top everything.
it used to be in Iowa. It is now in Texas, which I would just rather watch it on my computer if possible. But
I get that.
Luke Maston, Highway Supervisor. Yeah, the first item is a request to attend in the first week of May, the Carticon Conference. It's actually a training conference for our work management software. And the only one attending would be me.
Move to approve.
not Comic Con. It's
That's-
it's
that was-
Cardicon, yes.
I was reading something else. Sorry. I've read that. Yeah, you're good.
Second.
Told Adam my
You don't have to like wear an outfit or anything, right?
I've not done painting it yet, so I'm hoping that they're not
Well,
required.
hopefully it'll include a hard hat of some kind. Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Second one's material bid award recommendations pending legal.
Yes. So our recommendations were provided in the memo. I will very briefly go through them. These are based off of the annual material bids that we've received previously for FOB hot mix asphalt. Proposed primary award for all materials is Milestone Contractors, plants 11 and 32. Secondary award is Dave O'Meara Contractor. Award recommendation for concrete is Shelby Materials. Award for crushed limestone aggregate. Primary award would be Ward Stone. We did receive pricing from US Aggregates. They did not submit a bid, but they provided pricing afterwards. So my proposal would be to accept that pricing, but at a secondary basis, if for some reason the primary award can't provide it. And then for liquid asphalt, Marathon would be the primary for SS1H, AENT, AE90/RS2, and AE90S. Asphalt materials would be the secondary for those materials. In addition to that, asphalt materials would be the primary for AEF and APME.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, sir.
Last item is our award recommendation and a request to begin contract negotiations for the upcoming bridge inspection contract. This covers the period 2024 through 2027, beginning with inspections in July of 24. We received 3 proposals based off of our review. Our recommendation is to begin contract negotiations with Butler, Fairman, and Cipher.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners, approval of RDC annual report.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 2023-0-7. Establishing the Phelps Charitable Fund.
I don't see a problem with his family wanted to do that and put it through the community foundation. I have no problem with that. And but Kevin will work with this, I'm sure. So I'm good with it. I've moved to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No business claims.
I don't have anything. I'm not gonna bring up the several T-shirt expresses, but I'll move to approve.
I'll second that with the local company involved in that.
That's right. I like to support our local companies.
Whether we need to or not, right? A motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I can't wait for the budget process to start and get my budget book. First thing I'm going to look at is clothing allowances and all these different entities, and especially as sheriff out there.
Well, Commissioner minutes for approval, 3/24/2023, 3/27/2023, and 3/27/2023. ARPA committee meeting, special meeting, and regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further? Any changes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any public comment?
I got one.
Go for it. I got one too.
I took a message from Carmen, town of Whiteland this morning. It says, on behalf of the town of Whiteland, I would like to thank each and every one of your county employees and departments that assisted us during this past week. And extra kudos to Dwayne, Stephanie, Jimmy, Shannon, and the 3 commissioners. She would really like to say thank you. So.
I'm glad everybody could be a help. It's just, again, I'll say it, nobody pulls it together like Johnson County when we need it. It's just amazing how this works. So proud of everybody in the county and what we've done. And if you haven't seen the devastation, and I was amazed when I walked with the Indiana Department of Homeland Security and got to talk to people, and just the amount of devastation that I saw is like nothing I've ever seen. And for those people to be engaged and involved in that, I can't even imagine what it felt like or what it was like to have that come crashing down on a human being or a person. But just unbelievable, the devastation that I saw, and just my heart breaks for those people. It's terrible. Our prayers definitely need to be with those people, and the scars that's going to leave for a long, long time in a lot of ways. We don't understand it. We haven't been involved in it. And Lord, I hope I don't ever have to get involved in it like that. But just please give prayers to those people. They need those prayers, we can get to them. So.
Yeah, I want to thank the town of Bargersville, Dan Cartwright and Whiteland, but we've got a section of residents over in Park Forest that are in the unincorporated area, and they had a lot of tree damage and limbs down, one thing and another, and they were taking them to the curb. So I got a call, wanted to know when the county was going to pick it up, and I had to make them aware that the county doesn't do that, and that's something I think we need to talk about as part of this disaster recovery plan that Stephanie is talking about. But anyway, I talked to Susie Quall, and she made a quick call to Dan, and they were over there the next morning with their truck and chipper and took care of that whole area. And Whiteland agreed to do it also, but Bargersville got there first. So I'd like to thank both entities, but especially Bargersville for taking care of that.
It has been all hands on deck.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
really, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. Just always is. With that,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
motion is second. We're adjourned. Thank you.